What up, YouTube? Elleix, come back at you with another Custom StarCraft 2 cast. Today we have a 1 vs 1 matchup featuring the Scion Custom Races Mod. Pretty much a staple on my channel, but for those of you who are new to my channel and not familiar with this mod, it adds 3 new races to the StarCraft universe, and they have no business being so well balanced. It is crazy how well done this mod is. Let's go ahead and introduce our teams. We already have some harassment here coming from our red player, spawning on the bottom left-hand side of the map. It's our orange Xayid player U going up against his opponent, spawning on the top left-hand side of the map. It's our red Keiron player Cognite. Now, you guys have to hold me accountable because usually I see you playing the Chiron, but today it's Cognite playing the Chiron. So we'll see if I get these players mixed up or not. If I do, leave a comment down below and roast me. Now, this scout being chased away. Meanwhile, I saw something interesting on the map. As you can see, we have a floating building here. It's literally a flying building. This will allow our Chiron player to make echoes and fuses, but I'm most interested in the echo. This is kind of a really interesting harassment unit for the Chiron, something that has a really unique mechanic that we will see, I'm sure, very soon. Meanwhile, we got the roamers running around for the Xayid player. The roamer, a really good early game unit with such an annoying scouting ability. I mean, it's really good, but to deal with it is so annoying. It's called Scour. Now, it shoots this green projectile. There we go. And this will allow our Xayid player to have vision for 10 seconds, and there's literally nothing the Chiron player can do about it, but you can attack it to deny it. So that green ball that you saw, it's attackable. You can interact with it and destroy it before it procs, and if you destroy it, that will deny scouting anyway. We have, what, 2 workers that went down? 1 worker that was killed by these roamers. So great control by Cognite and actually bringing the fuse here, or not the fuse, excuse me, the echo to defend, and I've never seen this used defensively before. At the same time, though, that does give away some of the tech for our Chiron player. That is not ideal. Now, that ability you saw, that is going to be Discord mode, I believe. Yep, Discord mode. So the echo becomes stationary and it slows enemy movement and production. It is a really, really good ability and really annoying, and we're going to see it here in a second. You also have Sonic Image, which creates a shade for the Echo to bounce back to in case it gets attacked. And also, when it's in Discord mode, you have an upgrade that allows it to cloak, but it looks like Cognite being really, really cautious with that Echo. The Echo can also attack. It does 12 damage, and it targets air units, so it doesn't attack ground units necessarily. At some point, that kind of unit would become broken. So obviously prevent it from attacking ground units, especially in the early game, because you could just use Discord, right? Discord mode, and then as soon as the player comes to defend, you have like 4 echoes or something, and now they're suddenly attacking all the ground units. Also, it would kind of eliminate the purpose of Discord mode, because you could just fly into the mineral line and attack instead. Oh man, in the range of the bile pit though, which is effectively a photon cannon for the Xayid. So great reaction by you, and this bile pit is now slowed, and look at how slow it's actually being built. And unfortunately for you, the Xayidlings, our tier 1 unit, can't attack it when it's cloaked, but they can attack air units. So there's no detection until that bile pit finishes. Let me see if it's a detector. Am I gaslighting myself? No. Yep, it is a detector. So I am not gaslighting myself. Mission accomplished. Base number 3 coming down for our red Chiron player as well. A lot of volts here, and this is kind of I feel like a staple for Cognite. He really loves these mono builds from what I've seen. Not all the time, but I think one of my first games featuring him, when he played the Chiron, he did something similar. It was a mono build of Volts, which are our tier 1 unit. They're pretty much like Marines or something. And here we go. These roamers will get attacked, but this roamer shooting a Scour right before it went down, that is hilarious. I've never seen that before. Not that this is giving any sort of scouting information for you, but you got to respect the attempt. And some more feeding pools being built. These are like supply depots mixed with healing wells from Warcraft. They heal 3 units at a time. Really, really not bad at all. Now, taking a look at the supply, we have 100 supply for orange and 87 for red, but so many volts here. How many volts is that actually? 27. That is disgusting. So many volts running to what I assume is going to be base number 3. This Echo here trying to do some sort of harassment, at the very least getting some scouting information, but it did run away. Now it's floating over what will be potentially base number 5 for the Xayid player. And here we go. Volts versus Xayidlings. This is interesting. You don't see this too often. Usually the players kind of tech up through the trees just a little bit more. Oh, man, and more Volts spotting base number 4 as well. We'll see if this is going to become a multi-pronged attack. These Volts actually going to prevent you from defending base number 4. This is not a bad move at all. Cognite biding his time really well, actually, but moving the units away, but you getting baited. Will he be able to defend this this base number 4? I think so. At this point, as you can see on the mini-map, the other Volts running home, leaving these ones to die. These ones working overtime and not getting paid for it. I can relate, bro. I can relate. It is an unfortunate situation that we are living in sometimes. Anyway, now we got the Pulsar. The Pulsar, a really cool unit, only attacks ground, but it can move and attack at the same time. It doesn't have the best range. The range is only 3, but the fact that it can move and attack at the same time kind of makes up for that, and it has a really cool laser beam animation. Yep, there we go, which is also really good if you're trying to kite these kind of units back. The Pulsar will be able to kind of provide some defensive support. More Echoes here as well. Like I said, they will prevent movement speed and reduce the production time for any Xayid stuff. This one actually flying across the map and will potentially stop some production here. I would move this just a little bit closer because the Bile Pit will be able to finish up right now. Do we have any detection though? Oh, does this splash damage do air damage? Okay, it does. The castalisk. Wow, wait, I did not know the, what was that? I think that was that the explosive glob that we just saw? I did not know that did air damage. We'll take a look at that later. Right now, though, another engagement in the middle of the map. Both of these players are very strong players, by the way. I love the offensive use of the Echo as well. We do not see this too often. A Spitter here will be able to do some splash damage. As you can see, a lot of the shields going down for the Keiron player, Cognite. Not you, Cognite. You is the Xayid player. There we go. Another hit on that Echo. Wow. Okay, where is this thing? Here it is, the castalisk. So, explosive blob rolls a projectile. No, so it was stagnating bile. Launches a missile at the target location, stunning units in an area for 4 seconds. Wait a minute. Yeah, that had to be the stagnating bile. I did not know that does damage though, because explosive glob, it's more like it's like a projectile version of like a baneling or something. It shoots a big explosive ball that rolls across the ground. So what we saw was the stagnating bile. Did not know it did damage, though. It doesn't say it does damage. Oh, man. Yeah, these Echoes, I love the use of them. And the fact that Cognite is using them so frequently, too, is not something we see too often. And this is some really interesting harassment. We'll take a look at it in a second because we have another engagement here in the middle of the map. I don't know who's going to come out ahead. I feel like the Xayid player, though, I feel like Yu has so much more splash damage at his disposal and actually forcing Cognite on the retreat. We do have the Ward here, which is a good defensive support unit. We also have this vision here that is provided by the Oculus, which is a structure for the Chiron player. As long as it stays alive, this vision is yours to keep. It is so cool. But anyway, look at how much this slows down any sort of building. I mean, I can't get over it. So even if you're trying to expand, it's going to slow down expansion. So it's a really unique way of harassing stuff because you're not necessarily destroying structures or workers. You're just slowing stuff down. And like I said, man, it is so annoying to deal with. I would be on the verge of a crash out. I mean, to be fair, anytime I'm playing StarCraft, I'm on the verge of a crash out, but I still love the game, you know. Bit of a masochist, I guess. Some pariahs here, though. Kind of a mix between adepts and zealots. As you can see, they had that short-range shade ability called projection. Oh, and I like this, though. We got the Basilisks on the field. I think my favorite Xayid unit from an aesthetically speaking, from an aesthetic perspective. I lost my words there for just a second. But yeah, really, really cool units. They look like they would be melee units, but they have a short-range kind of projectile instead. Oh, man, though. Base, I think, number 5 or 6 going down. These wards actually protected by a unit called the Fuse, which sacrifices itself to give a shield to any unit you choose. Now, you're going to benefit more from using it on expensive units, because the Fuse, once you use it once, it goes away. Not really a point using it on something like a Volt. I would use it on something like a Titan, which is, I want to say, almost like your Colossus equivalent for the Chiron player. So a lot of heavy tier units at this point. We've gone from tier 1 to tier 3 for sure. Nullifiers here as well at, I don't even know what base this is, your anti-ground static defense. And now these players kind of poking each other, not necessarily going for a full engagement just yet. They're like, okay, I don't necessarily want to lose all my stuff, but at the same time, we're both maxed out. So one of them is definitely going to send it. Oh, here we go, the sneaky Echo, preventing some of the movement here for the Xayid units. A lot of splash damage from those spitters, though. On the back of all this, the Basilisks, even though they do have range, they really have to close in. And these force fields are from the ward. They will prevent some damage. A big warp-in of Chiron stuff, though. Cognite baiting you just a little bit, it looks like. But I don't know who's going to come out ahead right now. So much splash damage from those spitters. These Basilisks, very, very close to dead. One of them actually going down. It looks like Cognite might be coming out ahead in this engagement, man. The spitters, though, really working hard to soften up the Chiron army. Ultimately, though, these castalisks running home. They're like, you know what? Screw this. We are leaving. Some more Xayidlings here as well from our Xayid player. Another Basilisk here late to the party, strutting around like, wait, where'd everybody go? Look at him. He's just enjoying life, man. He has no idea what just happened. The news has not reached him yet. And the Xayidlings, little crab units. So cool looking, man. I don't know. I just love the aesthetic. Once you get used to it, it's really not so bad. You can definitely differentiate them. An Echo coming in and immediately going down. It had no chance to speak of. The Xayidlings, they do attack air and ground. We also have 3-2 upgrades for the Xayid player right now. Taking a look at what we have for the Chiron player, we have 3 attack upgrades and 2 shield upgrades. Oh, not getting the cancel on this base. Good pickup by our Chiron player. But this is also a scary looking army. Army supply, or sorry, total supply is in favor for the orange player. But, oh man, this stuff getting stopped in its tracks. That was a huge pickup for the Xayid player now. You moving out with this giant army. This is a terrifying army, actually. Look at all these Basilisks, man. Another big warping of Chiron units. The Basilisks taking a lot of damage from this tier 3 stuff from the Chiron player. The Titans are just so good, especially with the support from those wards and the fuses at the same time. But the Basilisks, there were just so many of them. Another warp-in from the Citadel now. The only macro Chiron has is basically from the Citadel. You have tech structures that provide charges, like warp charges, and then you warp things in around your main mining structure. So you don't build things from other structures. Anyway, wow, okay. So the Chiron player coming out ahead just a little bit, doing a brief worker pull. So a great pickup from our Chiron player. Taking a look at the resources lost, 23,000 resources lost to 22,000, almost 23,000. So virtually identical. Taking a look at the worker supply right now, we have 62 workers for orange and 72 for red. Relatively even as well. A slight lead for our red player. Taking a look at the workers killed, 34 workers killed by red, 10 killed by orange. And the macro, really good for both players, man. I mean, you just lost an entire army, and he's got, you know, he's at 137 supply right now, but he's got a decent army, all things considered, especially considering that the supply lost, or the resources lost, I should say, is relatively even. But I want to say Cognite at this point, just with those engagements, is maybe a little bit ahead. We'll see, though. We'll see how it goes as the game continues. Another Oculus taking a look at what's going on almost halfway across the map. Let's take a look at where that Oculus is after we see the scavenger nest going down to the guns of the Volts. And the Pariah here as well, just chilling, keeping an eye on things. And yeah, so all this is being witnessed by our Chiron player. I mean, take a look at that. That is crazy. So the Oculus, let's take a look. Yep, this is it, the Oculus. So as long as this structure is alive, vision will be provided by that structure. It is crazy. Man, this is deja vu. This is insane. We also got the Paragon, though. The Paragon, a really good flying unit. It's basically your carrier equivalent for the Chiron. We'll see if this base survives. It might finally go down, which will also prevent Cognite from reinforcing this position so quickly. The tech on both these armies is outstanding. You on the retreat, though. Cognite on the offensive. Not a lot of Xayid stuff left, unfortunately. Some of these spitters going down. These castalisks waddling away for their lives. The spitters, though, kind of preventing you, or sorry, Cognite. There we go. I mixed it up. Preventing Cognite from attacking further. Roast me in the comments below. That was a very genuine mistake on my part. That wasn't even a meme. That was real. And the Paragon, dude, it is such a cool looking unit, man. It's kind of got like a dog face. Am I the only one that thinks that? I don't know. Anyway, this base happily mining. Where is the army? Here it is. All right, so we got Xayathones as well. This is a detection / spellcasting unit, and a nice little addition to this army. Meanwhile, we got fuses on these Paragons, so these Paragons now have extra shields. Not bad at all. This army is terrifying. But you know what? The supply is ahead for our red player. Actually, no, for our orange player, excuse me. So you has more supply than Cognite right now. Just barely, but still, all things considered, not bad at all. I like the use of spitters, honestly. This will provide a lot of splash damage, but the Paragon, with its ultimate ability, it's not necessarily an actual ultimate ability, but it's basically like a Yamato cannon with splash damage. Here it is, the Emissary Orb does 150 damage to the primary target and deals damage in an area as well. So it does less damage around the area than the primary target, but still, the fact it does splash damage is insane. This base finishing, so you not opting to cancel it, trying to defend this position. I would potentially run away, but you deciding to throw out the GG, giving the victory to our red Chiron player, Cognite. What a sick game. If you guys enjoyed what you saw, please consider shooting me a like and subscribe. And if you want me to cast any of your own games, I will leave my email and Discord in the description below. And I'll see you guys on the next one.